My lines have disappeared, the sagginess has lifted itself. What a difference.
I can go out there with or without makeup and feel really good about how I look.
I would say next to being probably a baby. This is the best my skin has ever looked.
My girlfriend asked me if I had a forehead lift. Wow, that's great.
This is completely different than anything I've ever tried before.
You can notice results within the first 2 weeks.
Or within a month, I was starting to get compliments about how great my skin looked.
I feel younger. I feel like I look younger.
This is really wonderful because it really works.
My mom always has this thing about, oh, you have to suffer to be beautiful. It's not with this stuff. I mean, it just feels good. Never do you feel, ooh, pain, ooh, burning, itching, irritation, anything. It's just so smooth and silky going on, and then it works. Oh, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd run to the mirror and be like, wow, you know, and I'd look, you know, and I didn't have the same crow's feet that I had, and it was an exciting, great feeling, and just feeling confident, like going to auditions, because sometimes I've noticed that, like, I'm afraid if I smile too big, then it'll look too crinkly or something, which is just ridiculous. But I stopped feeling that way, because I was like, I would look at myself in the mirror and I think I can smile and I still look like, you know, young.
I've had some peels through a dermatologist, and again, it's kind of a temporary thing where it just, you know, initially you look great, and then in a week or two, it just seems like you're starting all over again. I noticed that the dermabrasion and the alpha-hydroxy peels really tended to make my skin feel a lot thinner. I have tried different firming gels, and they're very, very temporary. They're very expensive, and if you put them on, it almost gives you a tight feeling, but that's all it gives you, is a tight feeling. It doesn't give you the tighter look.
In my early 20s, I noticed problems developing on my skin. The lines, the spots, this part of my face sort of sagging, and it was scary. I don't want to lose the youth in my skin. I don't want lines and spots and wrinkles. It's not what I want. Skin creams, moisturizers, night creams, eye creams, glycolic acid masks. I mean, I've done everything. But after using Evanston, I've noticed change, immediate change. The lines are softer, almost disappearing, and the coloring in my face is much brighter and smoother and softer, and the sagginess is just lifting. It's just disappearing.
I grew up on the beach in the sand all day long, and I was starting to notice lines around my eyes and around my smile lines, and that was scary. I'm 21. It shouldn't be happening yet. So within about 2 weeks of using the product, I felt it was amazing, the difference. My skin is so much firmer. I'm not seeing the lines around my eyes when I smile, and it's cleared it up. It's made it not nearly as dry, and just so much smoother, so silky. Normally I just see stuff like this and I'm like, you know, that's how I got suckered into the other type of products, and you know, thinking it was good until I used this, and it was like, what a difference.
When I was about 28, I started to notice the aging process starting, and I started to see the wrinkles, and my skin was getting drier. It didn't seem as elastic as it was, you know, when I was younger. I would sample different products, you know, like the hottest product that I would read about in the new magazine, which were always very expensive and never seemed to show any results after, you know, 2 or 3 months of using them, so I would discontinue to use it. Yeah, bottom line, nothing was changing, except that I was getting more wrinkles. And then I started to use the products, and I was noticing that the wrinkles were ironing themselves out, basically. And, you know, the lipstick stopped bleeding, and the tightness in my skin came back. I started having vibrant skin again. You know, I think everybody should know about this product. This has done more for me than any other skincare I've used. And, you know, it was about 28 when I started to search for wrinkle creams and, you know, anti-aging products. You know, and to give myself a little more moisture, and, you know, so that's been about 6 years, and I'm, you know, finally found something.